be ready for the dictation. Start. Sir, I welcome the increase in deduction on health insurance premium and further increase in this limit in respect of senior citizens. I would like to remind the Honorable Finance Minister that generally the insurance companies in the private sector do not entertain enrollment of people above 60 years of age. I urge the Honorable Minister to ensure strict compliance of the benefits announced in this budget by the insurance companies both in private and government sectors. It is true that a large part of India's population is without insurance of any kind, health, accident, or life. The announcement of creation of health insurance, Atal Pension Yojana, and Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana for workers in the unorganized sector from the age of 18 to 40. While coming to the health sector, I would like to point out the allocation is not enough, which is less than last year. Sir, it is not clear how the marginal allocation will take the family planning agenda and the new All India Institutes of Medical Sciences. In the revised estimates, the allocation was reduced, bringing the total health expenditure in the first 3 years of the 12th 5-year plan to rupees 70,000, way below the rupees 2 crores budgetary allocation targeted. Again, sir, as far as the Department of Health is concerned, as my friend has earlier stated that all human beings should have good health as it is wealth. The government of Tamil Nadu has been taking many steps to establish a healthy community in order to ensure that competent doctors and medical personnel are appointed in time in government hospitals. A medical recruitment board, the first of its kind in India, has been constituted in Tamil Nadu. For the welfare of the poor, the Chief Minister's comprehensive health insurance scheme is being implemented. Under this new insurance scheme, each family gets a cover of rupees 1 lakh per year and rupees 4 lakh in 4 years. For certain specified treatments, a sum of rupees 1.5 lakh is being given. In the last 3 years, from 2011 to May 2014, under this scheme, 6 lakh poor people have received treatment to the extent of rupees 1 crore. Of the above, 2 lakh persons have been treated in government hospitals. Again, the education sector faces one of the biggest budgetary cut in the current year's budget. Sir, I am saying it as an anti-farmer budget because compared to last so many years, the budget for agriculture for the first time has been cut by 24%. Budget for National Food Security Mission has been lowered by rupees 500 crores. There is a cut in agriculture by 14% and therefore it is totally an anti-farmer budget. For education, the budget has been slashed shockingly by 16% and the budget for school education has been cut by 25%, which would affect the midday meal scheme. The budget for Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan has been cut by 22%, which is really shameful. But most surprisingly, even the budget for important schemes like Integrated Child Development Scheme, which gives healthy food to children, has been cut down from rupees 16,000 crores to rupees 8,000 crores to keep the poor children hungry and therefore ensure that they do not go to school, do not study, and do not develop. Even the budget for National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is to give jobs in rural areas, has been cut from rupees 2,000 crores to rupees 1,000 crores. All this shows that it is a pro-poor and anti-Kisan budget, where in fact instead of increasing the Kisan's budget, their budget has been cut. For everything, there is one answer from the Honorable Finance Minister, who is not here, but the other day the Prime Minister has also said devolution to states. For every question, they give one answer from 32% to 42% we have made to the states, and devolution is there. We have given it to the states. Therefore, we are cutting the schemes. Now, in regard to this, I have to say that for justifying every cut, the government says that they have accepted the recommendations of the Finance Commission, which has suggested devolution from 32% to 42% to states. Accordingly, there is devolution by increasing states' share by 10%. But we have to see as to what the actual devolution is. In fact, the government has given with one hand and taken away by other hand. This becomes clear because the increase in devolution is claimed to be more than 1.2 lakh crores. Stop.